Welcome everybody to Business Statistics Unit number 4. In Unit number 4, we're going to be doing a little bit of practice of what is your normal data from normalized data from Unit number 3, and we're going to be doing some of the 5 landmark summaries of Unit number 4. I need you to pay attention because some of the things that I'm teaching is applied knowledge, some other is just very direct. So let's first start with the format of this assignment. So you have to make sure that you read everything because you have three areas. You have first here on the bottom, just in case you don't see, because sometimes your screens are very small and you cannot see. So first of all, there's three tabs, one with instructions, one with questions, and one with a raw data. So you have to go through each one of them. So instructions, you're gonna be doing them with me, with professor. You're gonna be following me, and we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, all the way to 13. And then be mindful because the questions here, be mindful because the questions here, um, you are gonna be answering them on your own. All these questions are on your own, okay? So you have to answer them there, and then once you submit your assignment, you should be able to answer the questions there and also have all the data formatted. Okay, so I'm gonna upload to you this file as it is, and then you're gonna be filling it on your own. Okay, very good. So let's start with that. So let's go first to the instructions tab. Let's go to the instructions tab one more time. Instructions tab. Let's go to this one. Questions. That's gonna be the last part you're gonna be doing. You cannot do the questions first. Okay, so make sure you do the instructions first. We do all the raw data, we format it, and then after that you can go to the next step. Okay, so very good. So first, let's go to municipal bonds, raw data. I put U3 there, but actually you need 4. So, but anyways, so first of all, let me explain you what is a bond very quickly. A bond very quickly is when private people lends money to the government. So people lend money to the government, and some bonds pay higher than others. So, for example, this one, the lowest bond is 2. Let me highlight it. Lowest bond is 2.4. That means if you buy bonds from the government of Jinx Okla Go bonds, then you're gonna get paid yearly only 2.45% as compared to if you buy one from Riverdale on here you're gonna get paid 10%. So anyways, I'm not gonna go too much into finance or anything of bonds. Just understand what we're working. This data is just telling you if I want to purchase a bond from, if I want to invest in government bonds, how much they pay. Some of them pay less, some of they pay more. We're gonna look at this data. This data very simple. What we can see here is univariable data. Why? Because we have only one variable. Then is quantitative, you guess well. Quantitative, discrete, or continuous? Can we break it? Is it broken? 3.6, so that means is quantitative continuous. Simple as that. So anyways, let's go already into the work that we're going to be doing today. Okay, so first of all, insert the data in a table. So remember, we have the data in a table. I can just do Control Shift arrow down or to the right and select all the data, or Control A and I select it all. So I'm going to do that first. Remember to avoid, as you can see very quickly, I selected all the data. Remember to avoid doing this with your own cursor. Avoid doing that. Why? Because here that's is only 44 rows. But in your projects that I'm gonna give you, 2,000 rows, and you can spend very long time doing that. So make sure that you grab already the habit of doing that shortcut. So 1, 2, 3. Control Shift bottom, and then to the right, arrow to the arrow down arrow and to the right. So I have that one. I'm gonna go to the, remember one more time, to the insert ribbon, and I'm gonna insert a table. Okay, so I have have it there. Then I'm gonna insert. Then I'm gonna put table. Okay, I'm going slowly here. Table. Okay. Then appears my message and says my table has headers. Let's see. It had issue and yield. Then yes, my table has headers. Okay. So we have it there. So first of all, it says adjust the length of the cells to the size of the data. I'm going to skip that for now because you realize there's columns that have absolutely nothing. Okay, this one hasn't here, but column doesn't. Column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doesn't have anything. So what I'm going to do is just select them and right click, and I'm going to click delete table columns. Okay. Why? I don't need them. Why should I have them there? I'm not gonna have them then. So in this case, we already done that one. Done. Okay, we already done it. Then adjust the length of the cells of the table to the size of the data. So one more time, remember, I'm gonna put my cursor, I'm gonna put it here. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna put it there, and you see, then I double click quickly and then adjust the data to the size of the largest one. Okay, so that everything fits. Everything now fits. Yes, good. So we can continue. I can also adjust this one. There's no major change because in the end the numbers already were there. Okay, good. So that one we have done it. Okay, done. I'm putting D for done. You can, I mean, if you want, you can do the same. If not, you can do whatever you want. This is a free world. So anyways, so then order the table from the smaller number to the largest. So this one we have to set already our data in order because here is not in order. So that is part of statistics, trying to arrange the data, trying to make it look beautiful, in order and understandable. So from here, I'm gonna click this button one more time so that you grab it quickly. There's this button in here. When we click that button, it's going to give us some options. So in this case, the options that I'm going to have is to sort. Okay, I can have this sort, smallest to largest, or largest to smallest, or sort by color, and also I can do some other rules, right? But anyways, let's just go very quickly from the smallest to the largest. Very simple. Okay. So now, if you did it correctly, you should have Sussex, CNTY as the first one, and you should have Riverdale, Illinois, or I don't know what's the L. Yeah, it's just EL, what's the highest number, right? I just invented that Illinois. We don't know if it's Illinois or not. Actually, it's like UK bonds or so. So anyways, so we did that already. We're done with that. Then usually next number 4, we're gonna using conditional formatting, highlight in green the bonds that are lower than 4%. So the last week what we did is selected the data, Control Shift button, and we did the conditional formatting in terms of color scales. That's what we did the last week. This week I don't want you to do that. So what I want you to do in this week is look at the instructions. It says highlight in green the bonds that are lower than 4%. Okay, so in this case, what I'm gonna do is I go to conditional formatting, highlight says rule less than. Okay, one more time. Here you go to conditional formatting. Okay, conditional formatting, highlight say rules less than how much I told you earlier before, 4%, right? So in this case, I'm gonna write 4%. Okay, this one you can change the color in here. If you can see here, it says you can change the light red color or something here. Make sure that you put 4%. Okay, so this one I'm gonna fill it with green. I think I said green, right? Green. I have terrible memory. So in this case, green, yeah, in green. I said in green, lower than 4%. So you realize now with that rule, only those ones that are lower than 4% are highlighted in green. Okay, very good. So in this one we have it. We have it done. Let's done. Then we're going to calculate the average. So in this case, we're going to start already with some calculations. So let's put here, remember we have to always work in a very orderly manner. If I start to put all the data all over the place, that doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do is just here put average. Okay. Okay, very good. And then on the right side, I'm going to do equals average. Already Excel is suggesting me there's a formula for that. You want to take any of this one average here, I just want average. Okay, and it's telling me which number from where to where. So I'm gonna select through the range, enter. Remember I did the shift control arrow down, and then here there's a little problem, and that's what you're gonna see. You realize that this number does not resemble these numbers. So whenever we're working in Excel, whenever we're working in statistics, we have to make sure that all the data across through the data set, it is the same. If we're going to be in dollars, we're going to use the dollar sign, not sometimes yes, sometimes not, sometimes it's decimal, sometimes it's percentage. No, we have to standardize the data and make it look good. Okay, so in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that one. I can do this one by one, or later I can just all the data that I need to format, then I'm gonna change it. So I'm gonna go to the bottom here that you see there's a percentage. Okay, so I'm gonna click that one, and that one I go there. I'm gonna click percentage. First of all, it's gonna change it to percentage. Now what is happening in here is that Excel is rounding to 4%. Do you see any 4%? Here the percentage, here the decimals are very critical. If you realize there's 3 of them, and that can make a difference in this specific case. Why? Because when we're looking at 4%, we're not just talking about one number, we're talking about a couple of numbers in here. There's so many 4s, so that's why it's important to have 3 decimals. Okay, so in this case, what I'm gonna do is, one more time, I'm gonna go through the decimal here in number. Well, that's the home tab again, this one percentage, and I'm gonna go to increasing the decimals. You can see that here there is increasing and decreasing decimals. So what I'm gonna do is 1, 2, 3. Why? You realize here, there's this button, increase decimal, decrease decimal. Okay, then I press this one, the percentage. So you realize now we're working with 2.151, 3 decimals. Why? Because it has to match. All the data set has to match. If I'm going to use 3 decimals, I'm going to use 3 decimals across the whole document. Okay, very good. So now I forgot how to use the zoom. It's been a while that I don't use the zoom function. So anyways, okay, so we have in here, we have already that the average is 4.273. Okay, so we have the average, we have done it, and then we have calculating the mode. Okay, so now in this case we're gonna write here also mode, and then we're gonna ask Excel to do the mode formula for us. So I'm gonna write equals, then what should I write? Simple, M O. Oh, there already. Mode is already there. Be careful, it's not MOD. It's mode, okay? So now remember, the mode is the number that is repeated the most. So in this case, I'm looking what number is repeated the most in this range. So is it 2.1? No, there's no other 2.1. Is 2.8? No, there's no. So is there 3.1? Yes, but no, because in the end we're talking about 3 decimals. So let's look at it very quickly rather than me searching all over the place. Now I just go there, I select it, and it tells me is this number. Again, I need to modify it. I go to percent, then I increase 1, 2, 3, and it tells me 3.498 is the most repeated number. Why? Because if we go to here, it's repeated 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Any other number is not repeated, so pretty much this is the most popular number or the most repeated one. Okay, so anyways, that was the mode. Remember, that is the mode you already studied, hopefully. Okay, so we have already the mode. Then we have the standard deviation. So standard deviation, we haven't seen it yet. We're gonna see it in the following unit, but anyways, for case of doing it, we're just gonna do it this time. Okay, I will explain you about standard deviation the next unit. So we put it there, standard deviation here, standard deviation. Now be careful here, there's standard deviation, and that word something we're going to learn also in the following unit. We have standard deviation without p and with a p. This is the sample standard deviation, this is the population standard deviation. When I have smaller sets of data, I will use just the normal standard deviation. When I have very large sets of data, I will use the p. But anyways, we usually just use the standard deviation. Okay, so we're gonna calculate the standard deviation. Again, I'm gonna use Control Shift, select all my data, and boom, here we go. So there we go. One more time, we're gonna change it, percentage, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it says that in average, okay, the standard deviation, what it shows us is that the average is 4.2, and majority of the data, or the average, in average, how far is the remaining of the data? Usually is 1.5 number away. So if I look at 4.2, 4.2 is here, and majority of the data is gonna be on the lower 1.5 away, or higher 1.5 away on average. Okay, the averages of those distances. But we're, like I said, don't worry if you don't understand standard deviation right now, because it's the next unit. So now we go to that standard deviation, it's done, and then it says using the Countif function, count the number of bonds that are above 6%. So we're gonna go one more time here. We're gonna write above 6%. Right, so here we have which function we're gonna be using. Equals count if, because we have a rule. Count usually just counts certain number. Count if, we are gonna give specific criteria. Okay, so in this count if, I have to select the range. Count if in where? Here. Count if, comma, then comes the criteria. Then I have to start with this one. Count if it's higher than 6%, then count it. Okay, so there. One more time. Count if the selection of the range, comma, this one, then I have to close it. Okay, if it's higher than 6%, close, count it. Okay, then we're gonna enter. So if we did it correctly, it's gonna count 4. There's 4 bonds that are higher than that. So let's see if that's true or not. So this one we have here, higher than what? 6. Okay, this one 6.6. That's already higher than 6. And the professor said 6. No, 6. Anything 6.1, Excel is gonna count it as higher than 6. So we count it 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that accurate? Yes, that is accurate. That's right. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Let me remove that. And let's go to the top. So that we did it correctly? Yes, we did it correctly. So we have in the instructions that one is done. Okay, good. Now we go to a box plot. It says insert a box plot and insert an arrow according to here the 5 summary values. So let's try to first insert the box plot. That's the first is an easiest thing. Okay, so in this case, first of all, I need to select the data. Before doing anything, what I'm gonna do is select all the data values, Control Shift button, and then you're gonna go here to insert. Okay, insert. Then I'm gonna go, you realize that there's a couple buttons in the charts group. In the charts group, there's a couple buttons. Here, there's one that is for the histogram. Okay. Now here, be careful. Some of you like, Professor, I cannot see that histogram button. I don't have it. That means your Excel version is outdated. You may need to download the newest version. You have it for free as a student of Kunming University, so make sure you go and download it, or at least go and try. I think Microsoft 360, the free version online, does have it as well. That one I'm 50-50 because I don't use that thing. So anyways, if you have it, what you have to do is you have to click it. Okay, you have to click it, and there's two types here, histogram or box and whisker. So you're gonna click box and whisker. Okay, if you did it correctly, you should have this chart like this. Okay, so this one I'm gonna move it a little bit to the top because I need it later. This one, wait, sorry, I need to do it little by little. Actually, I can select where I want it, but I didn't do it. So anyways, this one, I have the box plot. In this case, as we learn in the unit, we have the box plot, but what I'm gonna do here is something extra, which is you're gonna see one plus button here. Okay, and I'm gonna click it. Okay, first I have to select it. Then when I select it, then I'm gonna see this plus button. Okay, so in this plus button, you're gonna go there, and then you see there's a chart element. So what you wanted to say. So what I'm gonna do first is gonna do data labels. Okay, so here I'm gonna go to data labels and put it. Okay, good. So if I did it correctly, now all my data is gonna have labels. So here we can see, like I explained in the unit, we have all the data summary. So we have, let me go through this one. We have lowest data value, okay, highest data value. All these friends are outliers. Why? Because they are represented by a dot. Anything represented by a dot means they don't belong in there. And then majority of the data that is located between all this range of data, which is most of the data, or at least I can say that is 99.7, 99.5 of the data is located in there, is between 3.498 and 4.404. All the data is located there, right? We have some higher quartile, lower quartile, but in general, these are outliers. Technically, 2.1 something is too close to be an outlier, so that's why it's not considered an outlier. It's still within one standard deviation, so or two standard deviations, so should be no problem. But the remaining ones are within 2 or 3 standard deviations, but we will learn that later. For now, just pay attention to lower value, lower quartile, higher quartile, maximum value. This line, that's the median, and that X in the middle, that is the average. Okay, so Let's look at it. Let's look at it. In this case, it was saying the average is 4.273. Is the average 4.273? Very good. Yes, that's right. Right. So that means it's accurate. So this one in a nutshell tells me the majority of the data is there. So I have it. The instructions, I've done it. So I have done the inserted the box plot, and then I'm gonna continue to arrows according to what I'm doing. So the smallest data value, then I'm gonna go here on top and I'm gonna go to insert. Okay, I'm gonna go to insert. Then you see here on illustrations, on illustrations, I'm gonna do shapes, and then on the shapes I'm going to select just one arrow. Okay, so this one I told you, you see my memory is very terrible and that sucks. Red one, so I asked for a red one for the smallest data value. So the smallest data value is this one. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this in the exam, so you better, I mean, which is I'm gonna show you exactly this, some data values, and you have to know what data value is that. So this one, I'm clicking here, this one looks like red. I don't have any completely red. Well, I can fix that, but that I'm just looking for a quick button. Well, let's do it. This is kind of red, that kind of works. Or if not, I can just put shape fill, and then I'm gonna make it completely red. Yeah, so I don't want to be lazy. I'm not the kind of person. So now we have that one, and then consecutively you can do also lower quartile in blue, and I can even copy this one. I can Control C, Control V, and I'm gonna just very quickly this one, this value. I can also make this one bigger so that the numbers like appear bigger. So let me shift this one. Okay. Yeah, otherwise it looks too cramped in there, and that looks horrible. Okay. So in this case, I have that one. Earlier I mentioned to you it has to be in blue, so the only thing that I'm gonna do is just select it. Select it, and then you realize whenever you want to change anything, and because you already did it, and that way you can go to the format, and in the format you can already look at how to change the color and etc. So on this one, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna put format, and then I can change it to blue. Okay, then I can do done median, the median in gray. But I can do also one more time. I can Control C, Control V. Okay, I can turn it. It's a little bit tilted. For those with obsessive compulsive disorders, I cannot leave it like that because otherwise you'll go mad. Then we're gonna do there again a format. I can change it to gray if I want. Then I can shape fill, and I can change it to gray. It looks like a gray. It doesn't look much like a gray, but anyways, that doesn't matter. I'm just here. The point is not so much of the arrows. The arrows I don't care that much. What I care is that you learn to identify all the values. Okay, so remember the median in this case is 3.88, right? Then the upper quartile you want it in black. I'm gonna copy this one. Control C, Control V. Upper quartile. Again, that's the important thing is that you know the quartiles, what they are. That's important, not so much of the arrows. Shape fill, I'm gonna put it in black. Okay, and then highest value, which I remember I think was in green, right? So good. This part of the video you can skip it because it's taking me forever. So good. Control C, Control V, and then we're gonna do highest value. Highest value that comes in format. I'm gonna put it in green as I mentioned earlier. Shape fill. I'm gonna do it in green. Okay. And then just for fun, because I'm cool. You guys didn't know it, but I'm very cool. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna do just one more because I want to show where. See, I'm not that cool. Sometimes I'm very cool, sometimes I'm not. Sorry. And I'm gonna turn it because I want to show the average, okay? Because I'm gonna do it in an exam. I'm gonna ask you all the elements of this one, and then of course if you don't remember, then that's bad. Anyways, we have it there, right? So in this count, how many outliers this data set has. So in this case, I can look at the outliers. Here are all the outliers. If you realize, actually I can go one more time. These friends are all outliers. Okay, all these dots are all outliers. Okay, all those ones are outliers. This one didn't ask you to put any color or anything, but I'm just telling you because you need to know. So on this one we have it. Let's put some funky color. I didn't say the F word, I say funky, huh? Don't get confused. So funky color purple. Okay, those are outliers, so I can count them very quickly. Like I said, the box plot works as a method that we can quickly see everything. So I can say 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can see 4 outliers. Okay, so I can count them, but like I said, sometimes we have sets of data that we have so many numbers that we cannot do things manually. So in this case, if I know that I have my outliers are any higher than 5.382, then what I can do is just very simple. I can do I'm gonna label it as outliers, and then I can say also the same thing equals Countif. I need to select the range, shift control, bottom, enter. Oh, it was not enter. I had to just very quickly. Sorry. Shift control bottom. Okay. I selected the range already, and then I continue. Then comma. If it's higher, let me go here. Let me zoom it for you. Then the formula I can put parentheses if it's higher than 5.382 5.382%, then count it. So it's gonna count it. Okay, so anyways, it's already the same thing as above of 6%, because in the end they are outliers. It came up with the same number, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so anyways, already we have all the elements of the chart, and that works very well. So yep, instead of counting them manually, I can use a Countif function. Right now it says construct a histogram of this data set at just bin width 201% on the horizontal axis. So now we go to this one. The same thing. What I have to do is I'm gonna select the data, then I'm gonna go one more time to insert. I have to go one more time to insert. Okay, then one more time I'm gonna go to the histogram button. Remember, the histogram button is this baby here. Okay, okay, and then I'm gonna put it just here. Okay, so now the problem with this histogram is that it by default gives us the bins. What is a bin? This one you have to learn what's a bin. These bars, we don't call them bars in Excel, we call them bins. So these bins are adjusted automatically to whatever Excel wants. So in this case, The problem is if we don't have the number of pins adjusted to the number of data that we have, what happens is that this data is gonna look, well, sometimes the data, we are not gonna be able to know if it's a normal data set or if it's skewed or anything. So what I have to do very quickly is I have to set it, this one I ask you to set it at 0.01. So what I'm gonna do here is I have to go to the chart, I have to right click in horizontal axis. You realize if I click here, this goes to that axis, so I have to format this axis. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and then I'm gonna right click, format axis, make sure it selects the whole thing. If you realize this one select the whole thing, so this one, right click, see, sometimes I'm selecting properly, sometimes I'm not. This one is just your ability to, yeah, format axis there. Okay, in the format axis, what it's gonna give you is gonna give you a menu on the right one. Okay, so in this case, where I'm gonna go here is to the number of pins or the bin width, and then remember in this one I ask you to put the bin width adjusted at 0.01, not 0.0116, which is the default. Actually, right now the default is set as automatic, so I have to change it to bin width. I'm gonna put that one, then 0.01 only, and then it's gonna look different. Okay, and then I can close this one. Whenever you have some problems and whenever you don't see that, you can always go to the format or the design, and then you can check so many areas in terms of the the table or so. This one. Okay, I can put select data, change it, element charts, layout. I can also change the colors. I can do in different ways, but I'm not gonna do that. I just want to keep it simple for now. So now, so in this one I adjusted the horizontal axis. So based on the histogram, what values appear to be typical for this group of municipal bonds. So for when we look at this histogram, is this normally distributed or skewed? So we have